Hopefully, hopefully we're going live in the right group. And give me just a moment here. It is setting it up. It's redirecting to go live. It's like all the moving parts. Okay, we are live. Yay. And I'm excited to be kicking off today's call. Let me actually start the recording here. Record. Hello, everybody. Okay, first of all, I feel like I haven't seen some of you guys in a bit. So hello. Many of you may be like, we've been here, Tish. Well, I was on spring break this past week, and I kind of feel like it's the first official vacation I've taken in a year. Like, I truly feel that way. I was in Colorado in January, but that was a working vacation for me. My family skied while I was working and participating in Sparkle and all the things. Whereas this, I unplugged some. I worked on my personal business some, and I did reach outs and got some bookings for the second half of March, which I'm really excited about. But I am charged, I am refreshed, I am ready to lead and help all of you make magic through the remainder of March. And some exciting things happened while I was away with our free $100 item that Park Lane launched on Thursday. So let's talk really quickly about that. And then I'm going to pass it over to our guest trainer today. So just to recap, we have a free $100 item that our customers can participate in through this Wednesday. And the company launched something similar this exact week last year when we were embarking off of our cruise that we had gone on with Park Lane, and we entered a world very different than the world that we had left. And I know that Park Lane was kind of like, we don't know what's going down, but we want to help our community continue to be in business. And so they launched the free $100 item for all of us to utilize. And let me tell you what, it literally set our businesses on fire. It was like the greatest gift Park Lane could have given. We took full advantage of it. And I still have customers that still talk about the free $100 item that they got. So I'm super excited that they've brought it back. I've had some people ask me, is it only going to be good through this Wednesday? Right now, that is all they have promised us, that it is going to be good through this Wednesday. But this is what I know about Park Lane. What I know about Park Lane, if we show them, like, this is an amazing gift, we're going to make magic with it. It's helping us, boost our business. It's helping us do even more than what we would be doing otherwise. You never know. They may extend it. That would be amazing, but we don't know if they will. I don't want to assume that they will. I don't want to count on the fact that they will. And so I want each and every one of us who has the desire to make the most of it between now and end of day Wednesday. I've got a few ideas I'm just going to throw out to you all. All of these ideas have been talked about in our Treasure Tribe group, but just as a recap, we have a social sell, a Luck of the Stylist social sell that Aaron Markland created for the tribe. There is an event in the tribe. I'm actually doing mine tonight in my VIP group. It is it's an awesome sale. If you've got CentShare, it's on CentShare. If you don't have CentShare, there is a link to gain access to the group where all the posts are. Something I did this morning that I've never done before, but it hit me while I was scheduling it, is I actually took some of the pre-posts, okay, and I went and I scheduled some of those pre-posts in some of my old Facebook party groups, all right? And I just added in those posts, I kind of had to tweak the post a little bit, but basically I've got this live sale happening tonight. If you'd like access to the giveaways, request to join here, request to join here, request to join here. So I put together about 4 or 5 posts that are like pre-posts leading up to the sale that are now going to be launching in some of my old Facebook party groups. And I thought, who knows, maybe I'll capture a few of those not team members, a few of those group members that want access to my group. They'll request to join, and they'll also have access tonight. So just something extra you could add in if you've not done that before. So I've got the social cell. The second idea that I loved that has been talked about quite a bit is the earring party. If you guys did not see Trisha Edmondson's adorable live that she did on maybe it was yesterday, whatever day, Saturday, Sunday, whatever day she did it, sharing in the tribe how she has had her first earring party and what a success it was. And then Kia also followed Trisha's advice. She went and had her own earring party the same night. It's also yielding about $1,000 in sales. So if you guys have not tried the earring party before, I encourage you to search in our Treasure Tribe earring party. All the trainings there, all the information's there. It's something else you could do to layer in additional sales. And then of course, there's nothing like reaching out and trying to get 1 or 2 last minute bookings. What I would do if it were me is I would create a block party where you have 1 or 2 or 3 hostesses you are putting into a single party group, and you're doing everything there in one party group where you can reach the masses essentially. And you could do it tomorrow night, or you could do it Wednesday night if you wanted. They just would have to order. They'd have to order Wednesday night. If it were me and I were doing it, I would book it tomorrow night, and I would just reach out to your hostesses that love Park Lane and say, oh my gosh, girl, we've got a free $100 item that your friends can take advantage of between now and Wednesday. If you're interested, I'm offering a block party to my VIP hostesses. I'll add you. You can invite your friends who have shopped before that you think might love to participate again, or maybe some that didn't get to shop your last party. And I'll be going live tomorrow night, 7 p.m. And, if we have 5 friends shopping, you're getting an extra $100 in free product. So again, if you have the desire and you want to do more this week, we've got a few really simple ideas for you to execute upon. I will also mention that we are doing the 5 and 10K magic promotion this month. Your company VPs and I are really excited about this. We are going to be gifting all of you. And when I saw that they launched the $100 free item, I was like, okay, I haven't even told the company VPs this. I'm like, friends, we're going to be gifting more than we thought we were, because more of you are going to be reaching 5,000 in sales, and more of you are going to be reaching 10,000 in sales. But everybody that reaches 5,000 in sales this month will be gifted a gorgeous beaded clutch. Everybody that reaches 10,000 in sales this month will be gifted a gorgeous designer caftan. And it will, in either case, these items will be personally selected for you by your company VP. And I know all that are achieving 5 or 10,000 this month will also find themselves in Key West next February. I was just there. I'm going to talk about Key West for a hot minute. And we will take the most amazing pictures while we're there with you and your beaded clutch and you and your gorgeous caftans, and it'll be so fun. Okay, for those of you that have never been to Key West before, I just want to say this was our 4th time to visit. I actually saw the hotel where we will be staying from the water the day that we were out on a boat. I saw the hotel from the water. I talked to people on our boat that were staying at the hotel. They absolutely loved it. They said it was amazing service. They were like checking in on them every day. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, checking in to see if there's anything we can, assist you with. Like, just really amazing service. Beautiful, beautiful views. Key West is literally one of my most favorite places. There's so much that you can do there. If you want to party hardy, you can party hardy. If you want to enjoy the culture, you can enjoy the culture. If you want to enjoy the water, you can enjoy the water. If you want to spend your day on bicycles, and where that hotel is located, if you never wanted to get in a car the entire time you're there, you would not have to. It is truly in the center of town, where you can bike anywhere you wanted to go or walk anywhere you want to go. The food is amazing. The water is amazing. I'm super excited about it. So anyway, I could go on and on about it. I won't take any more of your time on Key West. I just want all of you to know, for those that have not been to Key West, it is a really magical place. And I'm excited that we're getting to go to a place that we can easily get to and know that it's happening. Okay. And the weather is going to be very comparable to what it just was for me, which was honestly perfection. Not too hot, just right. So anyway, I'm now going to pass the baton over. We have a special guest today, Miss Dana D'Orsey. And Dana, you look so pretty with your green and your red background. Like you're like literally like looking really sharp. Dana is going to be talking today about her steps for hostess coaching. And I'm going to preface this just in advance because I know Dana. I know her well. I don't know all her steps, but I know Dana. Dana is very, and I'm going to say this for those of you that are not methodical, that maybe your personality is a little more loosey-goosey. Okay. Like there are those of you out there like that, and that's not a knock. Okay. That's just different personality types. Dana is a very methodical stylist and a very methodical leader. She follows steps. All right. She's going to be going through a lot of steps. And for some of you, I don't want you to get overwhelmed by hearing all of the steps that Dana may follow. Dana coaches and leads people that do not work the business like Dana does. Okay. But this is why I think and you guys have heard me talk about the many, many steps. You've likely heard other leaders talk about the many steps that some follow. The reason I think it's important that we go back and revisit them on a regular basis is sometimes you start feeling like, okay, my parties, maybe I'm not having the results I once was. I'm not having as many join the group as I once did. I'm not having as many join the lives as I once did. I'm not getting as many carts as I once did. I'm not getting as many orders or as many bookings. Like all those, you may go through these ebbs and flows with your business. And that's why I think it's important to go back and evaluate, what am I doing? What am I maybe not doing? What are 1 or 2 or 3 things maybe I could layer in or add in that could make an impact, that could help me get more bookings, help me get more people in the group, help me get more on the live. So that's why I think it's important on occasions to truly go through all the steps from point A to point Z. And I know while Dana reviews some of these things, you guys are going to be like, that's an idea. That's an idea. Haven't tried that. Want to try that, whatever. So I'm going to pass it to you, Dana.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here today. Before I get into the individual steps, I wanted to kind of give a couple of guiding principles, kind of how I think about host coaching. And so the first thing is that I really want to make it as simple and fun as possible for my host. And I know that if I do a little bit more of the heavy lifting in terms of providing her very specific words to say and very specific actions, she's going to be more likely to do the things I ask her to do because it's simple for her. Also, I don't want to make it too overwhelming. I want her to have a fun time in the process, and I want her to max out her host rewards, because I know that when she has fun, she's maxed out her host rewards, she sees how simple it is, she's going to want to book again. She may want to join my team. She's going to encourage all of her friends to book a party with me, and it's just going to be a valuable use of my time. And I want to kind of highlight that too. I really try to max out my parties as much as possible. In the beginning of being a stylist, I probably didn't do as much booking and sponsoring from my individual parties as I could have. And I was doing a lot of work on the back end, following up with people and booking from scratch and all of that. And over time, I'm really trying to work smarter and not harder. And so I want to, like, when I have a party, it's like gold to me. And I want to max out everything I can from that party. I want to book my parties while I'm on my live and in my follow-up. If I'm sending cart messages afterwards, I'm going to say something about booking a party or joining my team to get that in there too, so I don't have to do that later. I want to just really maximize that time I have, because those people are focused on me. They're giving me their attention. They want to place their orders. That's when they're probably paying the most attention to me. The next thing I just want to say is I always find that there are 3 big variables when you have parties, because a lot of times people are like, what makes one party successful and another party not successful? I think the first one is obviously what you do with your host coaching. And we've all known this, that sometimes we pay a little more attention to a party and it goes really well. And other times we're a little busier. We may have a lot of parties going at once. We might miss a step or two, and we can feel sometimes that difference in the results of the party. The second variable is your hostess and her enthusiasm and her ability to follow directions. You have an engaged hostess, that makes a difference. And then the third is a little more vague, but sometimes it's just her crowd of people. Sometimes a host has a lot of friends who happen to be shoppers. Sometimes a host has friends who are not shoppers, and there's very little that you can do to control that. So the only piece that's in your control is that first variable, and so I work the heck out of it in terms of my process. The other thing, kind of to Tish's point earlier, is that this is not, when I started doing online parties, when COVID hit, like, this was not my process. This is something I have tweaked over time, I've added to over time. It is actually not, it's going to be funny because a lot of you that are on here are going to recognize your tips that I've integrated into this. Whenever I'm on a call, I listen to all of the calls about host coaching, about everything in this business. And I've been doing it for 6 years. And every single call, I learn something new that like strikes me, and I jot it down and I incorporate it. So this is like a living, breathing process that I use. And it is a little detailed, so don't be overwhelmed. A couple of things I do to help me organize the process is that I kind of do host coaching in the morning and at night. I have 2 little blocks of the day when I try to get all of my host coaching out of the way. So I have some activities I do in the morning, and then you'll see like every day I want to go in, I want to comment on the post, engage. I do that at night. So there, I'll kind of tell you in the different steps of kind of when I do them. I also have created a little checklist for myself. I can share all of this with the group. However, I think you have to personalize it to what your process is. So I can kind of share you an example. It seems overwhelming, but I kind of outlined the different parties I have going on and then the different steps. And you'll see all of this is like day 1, all of this is day 2. There's a little line that breaks it off. And it makes it very simple that I just go in the morning and I'm like, okay, Suzette's party, we're on day 2. Got to send the day 2 message. I got to send the reminders. I got to do the giveaway. And it's just a very simple way for me to follow along with my process and just check things right off. The other thing I do with my parties, and a lot of people have liked this tip, is I create like an index card for each party. These are very messy. You can see that it's just chicken scratch. So I put on the top Kelly's party. I put a little spot for bookings. So I want to know who booked from her party, because sometimes when you're doing a lot of parties and you forget who was the original host that gets the extra thank you afterwards. And it's like, this way I can just grab it right here and I don't have to go back into my party PDFs. And then I kind of keep 4 columns. The first column I call engaged. And that's usually the people who have been the most active in the group before the party. So those are the people I have my eye on. I think these are people that are probably going to want to book a party. I want to pay extra attention to those. Then I keep a list of who was on the party live. And that's to help with follow-up afterwards and how we're following up with people. Then I keep a list of who sent me their wish list and then who ordered. And the idea is I want to move people along from left to right in each of these columns. I want to get them to the end of ordered, and then I want to get them up for a booking. So that just keeps me organized when it's like a lot going on and I'm like, wait, it's the last day of the party. Who sent me a wish list and hasn't ordered yet? Who was on the live and hasn't, it just makes it simpler for me to follow up with people. On this side here, I keep a list. I go through the party, usually the day of the live, and I scroll through and see what were the pieces people loved that they commented on. Because a lot of times it might be something that's not in my typical presentation. And I want to call it out and I want to say, oh, Kelly, I know you loved this necklace right here. So I added it special into the presentation for you. And it kind of just builds that relationship. And then on the right-hand side, I keep a little list of the winners for each of the prizes. So I can easily access that when I'm sending out my prizes at the end. It seems silly, it's just a little index card, but it keeps me organized for all of my parties, and I can keep them all in a little binder clip and go back through them. So that was just kind of an upfront of how I organize myself. And the last thing I'll say before I get my steps, I actually tend to do, I know most of the people in the Treasure Tribe kind of do a 5-day party where the live is on day 3. I extend mine a little. I do kind of 4 days of setup. On day 5 is my live, and then I close it on day 8. The reason I do that is because it works well for me. And I find that I'm someone who likes buffer and a little wiggle room. So if I notice that my hostess did not send out her initial invitation messages, I've got like a backup day where I can say, hey, in case you didn't get those messages out yesterday, can you please send them out today? And it just gives her a little extra wiggle room if she has a lot going on in her life. Same thing at the end. When I send the reminder messages to send to everyone and I ask her to copy me on those, we'll get to that. I know whether she did that or not because I'm either copied or not copied on it. So if she didn't do that day, I can in the morning say, hey, I noticed I didn't see anything from you. Not sure if you just forgot to copy me or didn't send them out. If you didn't send them out, please send them out today because we're closing the party tomorrow. So I just have like a day on each end that gives me wiggle room in case she missed something or didn't do something. Okay, so I'll kind of just jump in. I'm not going to do every single detail. I'm going to highlight what I think are the most important things I do on each day. So the first day, obviously I'm setting up the party, setting up the sync share, inviting the host to the group, and I send her this message. And I won't go to tell you everything, but I'll give you the highlights. First, I want to let her know what to expect leading up to her party. That I really want to help her maximize her party, get to the 10 orders, which would be a $400 shopping spree. And I let her know I'm going to send her a quick daily message between now and the party. And that each message is going to be super short, just a quick little activity that she can do each day to really maximize that party. I want her to know that she's going to get a message or a little thing to do every day up front. The first thing I have her do is I tell her that inviting her guests to the party is a 3-step process. Today, we're just going to do step 1, which is to go into the group and use, and I know people do this differently. I still use the invitation feature. I have her use the invite button to invite 50 to 75 people to the party. I let her know that will usually help us get 25 to 30 in the group to get to your 10 orders. I try to explain why we're doing everything. And then I follow with a quick voice text to let her know that when she does this, she's going to do a little bit at a time, because if she invites everybody at once, Facebook could block her. So I advise her to do maybe 20 people at a time and do it a couple times through the day. The reason I still use the invitation feature is because I want to kind of maximize her use of time in sending out her personal messages. So I think there's some low-hanging fruit of people that are just going to accept the invitation and jump in the group. And I don't want to have her message. I want to have her message those people that have not jumped on board and jumped in the group yet. So we do that on day 2. So that's really basically what I do day 1. The other little thing is I have these little checkpoints and they're on my list that I want to check later in the night to see if she did invite people, how many people did she invite into the group? So I can just look in the invited category and see, did she invite 15 people or did she invite a big list of people, which is what I asked her to do. The other big thing I've recently added is that I now, as people join the group, and I usually do this at my nighttime slot, I friend everybody that joined the group and I send them a quick little message. Hey, Tish, it's Dana Diorsi, your Park Lane jewelry stylist from Kelsey's party. So happy you've joined the party group. Can't wait to have so much fun together this week. Let me know if you have any questions along the way. I'm here to help. Now, sometimes they've accepted my friend request and they'll see it. Sometimes they haven't. Doesn't matter. You'd be surprised how many people respond to this and say, oh, I've never seen Park Lane before. Oh, I love Park Lane, or my neighbor used to sell Park Lane. And it just starts a conversation, because my goal by the end of the party is I want to be friends with all of the party guests. I want them to feel like I'm their friend. And I want my host to feel like I'm her best friend, right? I want to really just build that relationship. The other big thing I do is every single day at night, I go through the parties I have open and I want to engage in the comments that people have made. Ask a question if it's a this or that and they say this, oh great, are you normally a silver person? Love that look. Like, which is your favorite piece in that look? Something to, again, build that community, build that conversation. And then as we get closer to the party, my replies to the comments will always be something like, great, can't wait to see you on the live tomorrow night at 8 p.m. So it's kind of reminding them about the live coming. So that's day 1. Day 2, I will send my host a message like, good morning. As I mentioned yesterday, it's time for steps 2 and 3 of the invitation process. So now I ask her to individually message her top, I say 20 guests in my process. If she has very low, if she's like 7 people in the group, I'm going to say your top 30 guests because I want her to message more people. If she's already got 25 people, I might say your top 15 to 20. So I adjust that number based on what I'm already seeing in that group happening. But basically, I say message your top 20 guests who haven't joined the group to personally invite them. I've been doing this a long time, and so many people miss their Facebook group invitations. So this is going to draw their attention to it. Here's a sample message you can send. And then I send that message to her. And I put them in, someone asked me to do this once and it occurred to me, I put them in different blocks. So I give her the instructions and I give her the message in another Facebook message, because then she can click on it, copy and paste very easily into a message if she's doing it on her phone. And then I just say, and then from that, text your top 5 to 10 people from that list saying something like, hey, make sure you check your Facebook messages. I'm hosting a virtual Park Lane party this Sunday. The jewelry is super cute and their deals are out of this world. I promise you'll have fun. Just another, if someone's missing their Facebook messages, those top 5 to 10 people she really wants to be there, calls their attention to it. I also on that day use the reminder feature in Facebook to go into her invited list, and I remind everybody. When you do that, you'll usually see a little uptick of people starting to join the group, because I know I do this all the time. I miss reminders and notifications to join things and can't find them, or oh, I saw that someone was having a party, but now I can't find it in my notification list to accept it. So this just pings people again. On that day is when I usually do my commenting giveaway announcement. And I have like one of those big giveaway time. It kind of draws people attention to it. And I let people know I'm doing the commenting giveaway. I use that feature where it tags all the new members of the group. If you go to members, you can write a welcome post to all the new members. So it tags them all in that post. And I put my language in there. And I usually ask people to share how they know, let's start now, share how you know the hostess. That's usually like my most commented on post, because everyone's been tagged, it draws their attention to it. Later in the day, I'll usually check back in my host to make sure that she was able to get those. Hey, just want to check in, make sure you were able to get those invitation messages out. And then sometimes I'll ask her to tag people on that announcement post that has all the details with the party there. And then the same thing at night, I do the same thing. New people that join the group, I friend and I message them and I engage on posts. Day 3, I usually focus on Facebook engagement and the algorithm. And I usually do this by voice text. And basically the bullet points I say, if she's doing a great job, I'll let her know you're doing a great job engaging in that group. Like, keep on doing what you're doing. Here's why it's so important. If she's not, I'll do some education on the Facebook algorithm. Basically letting her know that the more she's commenting, tagging people, the more her people are likely to see those posts. And that's important because then the more likely they will to join the event and the better party she's going to have. So I ask her to make sure she's commenting on every post, tagging people in the comments, when her friends comment, replying to them. And if she'd like to, maybe posting a selfie or two in the group. If she's not comfortable with that, just posting a picture of some of her favorite pieces of jewelry, something to get some engagement in there. Yes, and then I usually every day have one post in the group that I will tag people on. On this day, it happens to be the sale post. There has been, and some people have pointed this out, Facebook seems to have changed how you can tag people in the post, where it's a limited number of people you can now tag. So I just tag who's ever in that limited list that I get, that I'll just tag away. Day 4 is kind of a critical day. This is the day before my live. So this is where I'm really looking at how many people are in the group. Like, do we have 11 people in the group or do we have 40 people in the group? Like, where are we going? This is when I will be most likely to jump on the phone with my hostess, especially if she's not having strong numbers in her group. I really want to talk through what we can do to help that. So I'll kind of, and if I can't get her on the phone, I'll do it by voice text or, however works for you and your schedule. But I want to really re-emphasize, our goal is to get you those 10 orders. And I find in all my experience that when you get 25 to 30 people in the group, we're really likely to hit that. So if you haven't had the chance to send out those individual messages, let's do that today. Or if you did, let's expand that. Let's send that to, another 20 people on your list, or let's invite a few more people to the group. Can we think of 20 more people that we can invite into the group to just jog that? So I try to give her a few ideas. The other thing, and then if she's got a ton of people in her group, the thing I will sometimes ask them to do too that day is post on their personal timeline. I give them a message like, hey friends, I'm having a Park Lane party with an invitation image. And, and it's funny, people they never thought to invite will be like, oh my gosh, I love jewelry, invite me to the party. And it's it'll sometimes add a couple of extra people. Usually on that day too, we have a few more people that have joined the group. So I do a giveaway reminder and I use that same feature where I tag all the new members so it draws their attention to it. The next thing I either do on this day, or sometimes if I have a busy schedule, I'll do it the day of the party, but I try to go live in the group just for a couple of minutes to let them know what to expect the next day. Basically to let them know, like, just like I just appeared magically in this video, this is exactly what's going to happen tomorrow night. Because I once had someone on a party like go live in the party at the same time. She thought that's how you joined the live. So she was just like sitting there for 20 minutes, like, well, and people didn't know. It was a little strange. So I'm just going to appear magically. If you don't see me, refresh your page. here, we're gonna have some fun giveaways. I will usually show whatever my, I don't even have something here, whatever my on-time giveaway is. You're gonna wanna be there on time because I've got these adorable silver roost studs that you can win. I like to show them. People get excited about that. I let them know kind of what we're gonna do there in party. And I'm gonna tell you all about our sale, how you can get all your favorites for half off or just $25, but you have to come here tomorrow night to see that. So I will usually do a little live on the page there. In the evening, this is another thing I added to the process, and I'm trying to remember who, it might be Christy that does this. And again, all these little tips are from all the different people who are here on this Treasure Time Zoom. But I will give her a heads up that tomorrow I am going to ask her to send individual reminder messages. So let me know what's the most convenient time of the day so I make sure I get you that in time. Because sometimes people say, oh my gosh, I have a jam day tomorrow. Can I send them out tonight? You know, and I'll say, sure. And I send them then, because I don't want them to be surprised that they have to message everyone in the group that day, because it does take, you know, a few minutes of their time. Then it's party day. I tag everyone on that, you know, it's the party tonight. I change out the cover image, and then I give the host her reminder words to say to send out. And then I will check in with her usually like a little bit later in the day, just making sure you're able to send those reminder messages out. And I put drop a little seed also. And I think this is from Christy too. I was thinking of you, and I don't know you very well yet, but if you'd like to kind of watch what I do tonight, see if it looks like fun, I'd be happy to share, you know, what Park Lane has to offer its stylists. I think you might love it. Just a little seed. Nothing serious. And then I prep for the party. So I kind of have a little checklist, because sometimes I forget to do these things like charge my light, charge my phone, you know, and it's the kind of thing you're running around and I'm like, oh, I forgot to do that. So I make sure everything's charged. I make a note of what pieces people tended to like in the party, and I check the back order in the discontinued list, just because I'd rather not super highlight something if I know it's on back order for a while. 30 minutes before the party, I do two things. I voice text the host, can't wait, 30 minutes away. If we get on the live, there are people you thought were going to be there and they're not there, message them, tag them, you know, well, let's try to get them there, and make sure you're commenting a lot to boost the algorithm. Now, this is something I added. Jerry talked about this on a call the other day I was on, and I was like, this is smart. And I've done this for my last two parties. I swear it has boosted the number of people on live. I actually go in 30 minutes before the live and I message each of the people, because usually the host probably sent that reminder message at lunchtime or earlier in the day. And I think all of us could agree that there's been stuff on our minds that we're like, oh, I want to join that training at 8 tonight. And then our day goes by and now it's 8:30 and you're like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot to do that. I knew I wanted to do that and I forgot. So I send a reminder message a half hour before, bit simple, like, hey, Joanne, hope to see you on the live for Kelly's party tonight at 7 Eastern. We're going to have a blast, and don't forget about our on-time giveaway. It sounds like a lot. I had 40 people in my last party. I think it took me 7 minutes to do it. So it's just while I'm getting ready and I just bang those out, and people, oh, thank you so much for reminding me. I almost forgot. People do say that. Then I do the live, and I think this is very similar, you know, do any winner posts, things like that afterwards. Now it's day 6, the day after the party. This is another thing I added in. For anyone who was on the live, I message them. So I do my wish list giveaway a little different. I do mine by noon the next day. And it's partly for me, it's partly because usually when I end the party, I'm rushing into like my nighttime, bedtime routine, getting homework, who needs what. So it's probably more convenient for me. Honestly, I probably would get better results if I did it within that half-hour time frame. It's too much for me. And so I give people to the next day. I do usually get some in that night, but I send a reminder message in the morning. Don't forget about, you know, to get me your wish list by noon today for anyone who hasn't sent it yet. Here's the link to browse the collection again. So I send those reminders. And I will say the last couple of times I did that, I got a few messages after doing that. Then after the wish list raffle closes, I send my host follow-up messages to send. I send her 2 versions. I try to make it simple. For the people that were on the lot, here are the people, I tell her, here are the people who have sent wish lists or placed their orders. We don't have to worry about them. I'll take care of them. For the people that were on the live that didn't send me their wish list, and I say, and here are who those people are. And I take out my index card and I'm like, because I know who didn't do it. Just because then she doesn't have to go back in and think like, okay, this is who was on live and this send the, you know, I want to make it simple. These 5 people didn't send me their wish list. Here's the message you're going to send them. And I send her the follow-up message. And it kind of references the fact that they were on the live, they know who I am, that kind of thing. And then I ask them to copy me on the messages. I say, all you have to do is send it to that individual person and me at the same time so that we're connected on Facebook. So obviously I have been messaging some of these people, but some of them may have not seen my messages because they didn't accept my friend request. If she messages me and that person at the same time, then they are sure to see my message. They will, and I'll be able to have a direct line to communicate with them going forward. So I will, and then I send her a version for everyone else who was in the party group that didn't join the live, send them this message. So there's a little more heavy lifting of like, here's how the sale works, here's what you missed. But but I've copied my stylist Dana on this so she can, help you, just send her your wish list and she can help you maximize the sale. And then when she CCs me on those messages, I pop in there just a simple like, hey, nice to virtually meet you. Just like Kelly said, send me your wish list whenever you had it. That's why I'm going to be able to help you get the most bang for your buck. My goal is to help you get what you love while saving as much money as possible. And that's that day. So then day 7, this is where I have that wiggle room. So if I haven't been CC'd on the messages, I know either she didn't send them or a lot of times they just forget it. They missed that part in what I said. So I said, hey, just want to check in, make sure what I sent you yesterday made sense to you. I didn't get CC'd on the messages. So I wasn't sure if you just forgot to copy me or if you just didn't get a chance to send them out yet. If you could send them out today, that would be great because we're planning to close the party tomorrow. Just let me know if you have any questions. Now this is where I drop another seed for the host opportunity. And I will say I don't do, if I have a host who is not engaged, is not following instructions, I don't usually offer to flip the party to her. I just don't, this is just me. If I have a host who's engaged, who's following directions, is excited about it, I 100% want to offer her the opportunity. So I say something like, hey, Megan, I was thinking of you today. I wanted to throw something out to you. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't help you maximize my value. Maximize your value. That's a big phrase I use. Help you maximize your value. I have absolutely no idea if you'd be interested in this, but have you ever considered doing what I do? I know you love the jewelry and I'd love to help you earn a little extra money and maybe get a discount for yourself by sharing Park Lanes with your friends and family. We actually have a great special running right now where you can join for $99 and get $500 worth of jewelry. For the record, I think you'd love it and we have a lot of fun. And as a hostess with us, and I think I've seen a couple of things pop up. I will post all of these words to say so you don't have to like scramble to write anything down. And as a hostess with us, you're actually entitled to the commissions from your current show, which right now would be X dollars, wherever she's at, if you decide to give it a try and see if you like it. If you're even the least bit curious and open to learning more, I thought I'd send over this quick 6-minute video for you to check out. Let's chat after you watch it. And I send the video link and I say, and even if you're 100% certain it's not for you, I'd still love you to take a peek at the video because chances are that you know someone in your network who's looking for an opportunity to earn income flexibly from home around their very busy lives. So that way, and it's 6 minutes. Take a quick peek at it, see if you know someone. And then I kind of just drop that. I don't really do anything more with it that day. Okay, now it's the final day. I will, because I've now hopefully been CC'd in those messages, I can directly follow up with anyone who hasn't ordered and say, hey, just checking in to see if I can help you place an order. If you have any questions for me, as a reminder, we're planning to close out the party tonight. If you need more time, let me know. Because sometimes someone will be like, I definitely gonna order. Can I, I'm a little crazy. Can I order whatever? That way I know. And I usually don't send that message first thing in the morning. I usually send it late afternoon to early evening where it still gives them enough time. But I feel like if it's kind of like the reminder, if you send it in the morning, the reminder, they're like, oh yeah, I have to do that. And then the whole day happens and they forget. So I send it a little closer to when that deadline is. Now, party is closed. This is the big this or that, the Allison coach she talks about. I've integrated this. I absolutely love it. And I have a document that I did create for my host that I will share with you guys that I've been sending out. So basically the words to say, I'm not going to go through them. It's very similar to what she says. Oh my gosh, you had a great party. I know we briefly chatted about this, but we have these 2 options for hosts and I'll send all the words. I personally recommend you go with that option because we're literally paying you to try it out. I try to make it like a no-brainer, remind her of everybody who booked parties from her party, if there's anyone interested in the opportunity. And I created this little this or that. It's similar to what Allison used, but this is actually to share with them. So it's just a Word document. I did it in Google Docs and then I just PDF it and send it to her. So it kind of it almost seems like a standard form. So it just says, we have 2 different options for hostesses here at Park Lane. When you host a party with Park Lane, you are entitled to all the commission from that show should you choose to give the stylist opportunity a try. You will get paid the following week and can use that money to cover your sign-up fee. You would also get an additional $500 in free product in addition to all your host rewards. On top of that, any parties that were booked from your party would become yours, and any of your guests who were interested in the stylist opportunity would sign up under you. Take a look at the 2 options below and let your stylist know how you would like to proceed. So that this option has, what she has in host credits. That option also has what she has in host credits, plus an additional $500 in free product for $99. And then I fill in whatever the commissions would be. So then I bold at the bottom and it says equals an additional, like my last host, it was like equals an additional 920 in total value for just $99. So it makes it like when you look, you're like $900 in value for $99. Like, why would I not do that? Like, I try to just make it like no brainer. So that's kind of how I close it. If she decides to flip, then we go that route. If she's like, no, it's not for me. And they're usually like, oh my God, I'm probably crazy to say no to this, but I just can't do it right now. I'm just gonna, close out my host credits. No problem. And then I close out their host credits. So that is kind of in a nutshell what I do. I know that was a lot of detail. And again, just like I said, you don't have to do all of those things. If something spoke to you like, oh, that's a tip I want to use, put that in your process. Try a tip at a time. I mean, this has been a document that since we began COVID, I have added to every month a few different extra tips. And you can try things out. Try it out for a few parties. Do you think it makes a difference? Do you not think it makes a difference? Try different things and tweak them. And that's all. I know there were a lot of things that came through that I had the chat off so I wouldn't be distracted. But I can share my process. I can share my checklist. I can share the this or that. But like I said, you probably are going to want to tweak it to what you do for the checklist and what works for you.
Dana, such good information. I would love, first of all, even though it's a lot of moving parts, guys, everybody, please put in the comments, you did such an incredible job of walking through it all where it did not feel overwhelming. Okay. You really you're such a great trainer. So thank you in advance for that. Can we open it up to a few questions? I'm sure you're open to that. So for those that do have a question, we can take a few questions and I guess just unmute yourself if you've got a question.
Okay, hi, it's me. It's Summer.
Hey, Summer.
Hey, Dana, this could not have come at a better time. I literally texted Allie this morning with the emoji going and a bus, and I said, that's me. I'm on the struggle bus with some hostesses and some parties. So this could not have come at a better time. I do a lot of the same thing that you were coaching and talking. What I am finding right now is I am not having trouble. My calendar's full. I am having trouble having people engage in the party, and I'm having trouble getting people to the live. So if there's, and I'm wondering if I'm almost doing too much hostess coaching. There are times where I think, oh gosh, I am overwhelming my hostess. I'm giving them too many things. So I don't really know what I'm asking here for, except for, do you ever worry that you are burdening your hostess with too much stuff? And so by the time the live rolls around, it's just like, oh my gosh, I have to do this again, or I have to text out this reminder. So what are your thoughts?
I think sometimes with stuff like that, sometimes when we have a feeling like we're burdening them, it like almost like subconsciously comes like, I think the more I make it like, this is so simple and fun, like, and come with like, it's almost like the attitude that you're bringing to it. Like if you're nervous about burdening them, I feel like sometimes that can come through. So that it's also one of the reasons why I added those extra wiggle room days on each side, because like if I feel like my host is overwhelmed, maybe I won't have her post on her personal page and she'll have like a free day or something. It kind of gives me a little extra wiggle room, and it's just like, so she's not having to like invite to the group and send out the invitation messages on the same day. I try to like break it out so that like, the first day, like she's just inviting the people. So that, how long could that take? Like 15 minutes. The second day she sent out the messages. Third day, I'm just telling her about engagement. So she's just, commenting. So I try to make it like a little thing every day. I think the real heavy lifting days are the days she sends out the individual invitation messages, the reminder messages for the live, and the reminders about ordering. And that's why, again, I try to make it like, here, this is for the people who are on the live. It's these 5 people you have to send this message to.
Yeah.
And I try to just make it as copy and paste.
Can I add something? I want to add something because I think one of the things that I took away was that you're almost sharing that responsibility with the hostess on the reach outs. And that is something that I have not done a lot of. And I'm actually excited I love how you welcome people as they start joining the group. And it's almost like the first message they're getting from you has nothing to do with sales. It's like, welcome, we're so glad you're here. Look forward to getting to know you better. Have a super fun week. I'm here if I can be of any assistance. So glad you joined the group. I mean, I almost like that it's coming from a service perspective before they hear from you, like, because what I have tried doing the last few parties is I have sent messages out to everybody in the group afterwards. Just want to make sure you didn't miss some of the notifications. We're going to be closing the party. If you saw anything you wanted, blah, blah, blah. I've been doing that. And I have been bringing in 2 or 3 orders from that. But I almost like that it's like you're building relationship. You're focusing on building relationships with people, which I'm sure is what is helping you get to more bookings, which I know Summer, you said you've got the bookings, you're getting those. But I don't know. I think there's something to that. And if you haven't done those little things that she's talking about, I feel like those are some things I'm going to implement that I think are going to make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, I've been reviewing my whole processes over the last couple of days, and there's definitely tweaks that I can make. Dana, I might have missed this part. Do you give out your cell phone for wish list, or do you just do all your communicating with your hostess and the guests through Facebook Messenger?
I do most of my communicating with my host through Facebook Messenger, only because I feel like she's probably copying and paste. It's the parties in Facebook. Those people are on Facebook, then she can easily copy and paste. I do give people I certainly give people my cell phone number. I say you can text me or you can Facebook message me, whatever is easiest for you. If we've already been kind of messaging a little bit back and forth, they tend to do it on Messenger because that's just how they've been communicating with me. But I give them both options.
Okay. I have a million more questions, but I'm not going to take up any time. I'll just get to you directly. Okay, thanks, Dana.
Something else that I'm going to add that might help you, Summer. And 13 years in, I find sometimes when I start feeling stale because I'm doing all the same things, and it's like it has to remain fun for me as well as for my host. And that's why I was excited to do this today, because I feel like when you as a stylist go and implement a few new things you haven't done in the past, or maybe you got away from, it feels different. It's a little bit of a challenge. You start seeing people respond. You're like, oh my gosh, how they're so excited. They appreciated me reaching out, like whatever. So sometimes I think just implementing a few different things gives it that freshness that you might need, that then kind of gets you excited again, if that makes sense.
I totally agree. And again, this is not all about me, but I have not been as engaged in my parties because I had so many, again, like, high class problems. And so it's like, I was just kind of just doing the copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. So yeah, like I said, this couldn't have come at a more perfect time.
Sally, go ahead.
Me?
Yes.
Okay, wet head and all, no makeup. Hey, so I'm curious about the 8-day format, because I feel like I sometimes am rushing my hostesses to close if it's close to Wednesday. So I've gotten to where I only want to host on Thursdays and Sundays, and I'm rushing to close my Sunday shows. So Dana, are you not concerned about closing every show on Wednesday, do you pretty much stick to that 8-day format no matter what?
I pretty much stick to it. I will tweak it if it's a deadline, a special that's ending, I might take off that one day in the back end. I try to be conscious of it when I'm blocking out and scheduling all my parties. I kind of think about like when the party is and when it's closing and that dollar amount is going to go. In fact, this month with the $500 a week thing, it's forced me to be very strategic about like, okay, this social sale is going to go in here. This party is going to go in here. So I know I've got something going in each time. And so I try to think that way.
But like when you have like for this week, you have that $100 free, you're going to close Wednesday, I'm guessing, right? Or at least get everyone to take advantage of that. And so you're
and if not like for example, I was just doing talking with a stylist on my team who has a party Wednesday. So she's obviously not going to close it that night. But I mean, that's a deadline for those people. If you want to take advantage of this, you need to get your order in by here. That's just, that's the deadline. And if you needed to keep it, like I said, usually that like rich rewards time and the end of month time I might be more likely to push it in because for whatever goal I'm going for. But I try to think out when I schedule it that I usually try to have it closed by the Monday or Tuesday. And I'm someone who doesn't, again, with the buffer, like I don't like closing a party on a Wednesday because I'm stressed that like the host isn't going to get back to me, or like I want to close on Tuesday and have Wednesday as a backup if I need it.
So do you have certain days of the week that you book parties only so that it fits with that 8-day format?
I do. I mean, right now my days kind of correspond with what the hockey schedule is. So it may not be as ideal. Now that hockey is winding up, I think I'll have more flexibility in when I can schedule things. But yes, sorry. My son's even like, he's homeschooling today. So he's like, can I go to my friend's house? I'm like, yes, go.
Hey, Dana,
Okay.
I'm going to ask this, since you give until noon the next day for the wish list drawing, do you batch like, would you have like 2 parties in one night, like one at 7 and one at 8? Do you do that?
I have definitely done that. And I'm actually going to be doing my first multi-host party, which I think is going to be a strategy I'm really going to like. So that will, again, give me more wiggle room. If I get a lot of wish lists in, I have that night and I have the morning that I can get those back to people.
Okay. Any other questions?
Tish, I have a question, and
Yes.
it may be that I just didn't understand. I'm wearing green too, Dana. But I maybe I should understand. Explain to me one more time, because I took notes. I was listening. Where does the extra day fall in?
So I have 4 days leading up to the party. Day 5 is when I do my live.
Got
and
it.
then I have days 6 and 7 are follow up, and the day 8 closes.
So you've got an extra day of posts as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I kind of feel like day 1 is really like you're setting. I only have like a post or 2. It's kind of like those, like, the introducing me, telling about the party. It's not like a full day of posting. It's like the setup.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
I think that, Dana, this is may correspond. It doesn't really correspond to host coaching, but talking about the party format. So I'm going to call day 1, the day that I open the group and the host starts inviting her people. Okay. That's day 1. Then I basically have day 2, 3, and 4, which are the posting days. I go live at the end of day 4. Then day 5 is kind of like we're closing the party out today day. And then day 6 is, we've extended it one more day. So it sounds like you've got one more day in there than like Christy and I have is what I'm taking. And you've got that kind of on the front end, just giving her, because I do agree with you. Sometimes it can sneak up on you. And it sneaks up on that hostess and you're like, oh my gosh, the live is today. And we have 8 people in the group and my hostess is ignoring me. And I feel like I'm talking to the air. And I'm sure no one else has ever felt that way. Right, guys? So I like that you're giving yourself a little bit of flexibility and her as well. Anybody else? I'll tell you the things that I took away. I mean, I took away a lot, but what I love that you're doing is that you bucket your time, because I know this about you. You're very methodical and you do your host coaching morning and night. And you've kind of got that into your schedule and you make sure that it's happening morning and night. I also love that you have your checklist. I put an OMG next to that. We all want the checklist, Miss Dana. I like that you do your index card and how you have your 4 columns. I have a notebook, not an index card, but you could still do the same scenario. I love that you've got your column of who was engaged in the group, because often you'll have the people that literally are commenting on every single post and then they don't go in order. And so you've got your engaged group, you've got your who was on the live group, you've got your wish list group, you've got your who ordered group. I love that. And I also like that you make a note of things that people love. And then again, these are things you're doing that are building relationships. And you're making a point. Oh, I see you love this. I'll make sure I show that. Or I know you love this, Kelly, so I wanted to share this. Like, I think that, I mean, that's just these are small little things that I think can make it a big difference with making it personal. And I think for those of us that love the personal aspect of this business, it gives us the opportunity to feel like we're still in the people business, doing, making it personal with the people we're working with. I also like how you're welcoming people as they join the group. I actually love that. Love that. And then I also love the 30-minute reminder. Okay, that I think is a big one. Like, if I were going to only change one thing, that might be the one. I think the 2 things I might change are welcoming people and the 30-minute reminder. I love that, Dana. And really, all that is getting into your office 30 minutes earlier than what you're maybe used to, and just keep, putting time in there to do that. I really loved that. So anyway, anybody else before we shut it down? Okay.
Oh, I have one more thing I wanted to say. The other thing too, and because it's not really host coaching, but I did want to share that I'm doing it. I know Lori Mercer talked about it a couple of weeks ago. But the other way I'm really trying to max out my time is when I'm sending those shopping cart messages. I am not doing so without talking about the opportunity. Have you ever thought about doing this? Hey, or if not, I see you have all these things. Why don't we get you some for free when you do your party? How about that Brooklyn bracelet for free as a gift from me? Or if none of those things, great. Why don't you join my VIP group? I've got a great, I'm trying to max out every ounce of it. And so while I've got their attention, I am doing it there. So I wanted to just reiterate that if you haven't listened to her process, that has been a game changer for me too.
I love that. And Connie asked the question, and I'll be honest, like, I actually can't friend request everybody in my groups because I'm at kind of my max on friend limit right now. But she's asking, are you worried about hitting your, obviously we can still message people without sending a friend request. They may or may not get it, but are you worried about that, Dana?
I'm not. I think I'm at I think that the max is 5,000. I think I'm at 2,800. So I have some wiggle room to go, and I could probably get rid of some people if I needed to. So for me, it's not a big issue right now. And I don't mind friend requesting my customer. Some people don't like to do that and cross the business with the personal, but I kind of feel like we are our brand, and being a business owner, there's nothing I would put on my personal page that I wouldn't put on a big billboard for someone to see. I just wouldn't. So I'm not afraid of anything that I post. I feel like it's a personal, it builds personal connection. And the more that you connect, the more people learn about you, there's going to be different connection points about you personally. Like, oh, you're a hockey mom. I'm a hockey mom. Like, you basically, then you feel an instant connection, or you do this, I do that, whatever it is, it's a connection point. And I like to have that connection point too with as many people as possible.
Great. Okay. The best, Dana. So good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And we will get all those documents out to everybody, guys. So thank you so much. And wishing everybody a great few days remaining with week 3. And I'm so grateful to all of you. So thank you. Thank you, Dana. So good.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.